Welcome to the audio of the non-religious spirituality book, Happy Soul, Hungry Mind, a modern-day parable about practical spirituality. Chapter 8, Spirituality is Natural. Rishi made himself comfortable by placing one of the smaller pillows behind his lower back. Making a cascading gesture, Rishi said,
Spirituality is as natural as a river flowing downstream. Just relax and let nature do its work. It's absolutely beautiful how it works.
Rishi pressed his right hand fingers together to form a cone and pressed it against his chest.
Spirituality is inborn in us and it's completely natural.
Is it really natural?
Yes, just like every human.
Rishi paused to search for an example.
Just like every human has the ability to float, the ability to swim.
Only if they're able-bodied.
Yeah, okay.
Rishi raised his eyebrows slightly to dismiss the technical point.
My point is, swimming is inherent in us. Babies and kids can learn swimming easily. Adults, on the other hand, can develop the fear of water. Look at me, I don't know how to swim.
You don't?
Rishi gave Travis a dirty look as he smiled.
I did try to learn. Suchi enrolled me, but after 6 months, the swimming instructor came and said I was giving the school a bad name.
No way, they didn't do that.
They did too. You know, Priya was young and she told me, Dad, it's only 3 feet of water. If you feel scared, just stand up. Oh my.
That's funny, buddy. That's funny.
I know. In any case, this is a great point, Travis. I have the ability to swim. It's been there since the day I was born. I know it intellectually. I know it conceptually. And yet, my mind can't overcome the fear of putting my head below the water.
It's not that bad.
I know. But I would stand there looking at the water. My trainer would come and say, Stop analyzing the water, just dive in. The problem was, my mind was the stumbling block. And it stopped me from accessing my natural swimming ability.
So, the spirituality is the natural ability, yet our mind prevents us?
Perfectly stated, Travis. Perfectly stated. You're gifted from birth with spiritual ability. It's automatically available to you.
Automatically?
Yes. You don't have to holler to the soul. You don't have to stand upside down on your head. Think about it this way. The landscape becomes visible when the fog lifts. No effort is required to produce the landscape. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't come back. Similarly, our soul is always there.
Good analogy. This is easier for me to understand.
Rishi took a bow.
Thank you. Our constant storm of thoughts and emotions never allows our mental fog to lift. But whenever this mental fog lifts, the soul becomes evident by itself. That's why this is the most natural process. Spirituality is as natural as swimming. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise.
I like that it's natural. That's cool.
Most things in nature are. That's what's fascinating.
Rishi broke off a few grapes. He eyed each grape, playing with them between his fingers and eating them one by one.
If you put a seed in the soil and water it regularly, it'll grow naturally into a plant. If you work out regularly, your muscles will develop naturally. As we quiet our minds, our metaphorical spiritual muscles develop naturally.
As his mind processed Rishi's discussion, Travis looked down at the silk rug. The intricate design of flowers and endlessly curving branches caught his eye.
You've explained spirituality as simple and natural.
Rishi began to speak, but Travis continued.
Then why is spirituality made out to be so complicated? Why is
it complex when described by others?
Yep, this rug.
Travis pointed downwards.
The design of this rug is complex, but it doesn't look complex. Is that what you've done? Made complex simple? In the online articles I read, spirituality is not as simple, nor is it natural.
Rishi leaned forward.
Are you trying to second guess me?
Rishi was trying to be funny, but it did not come across as such.
No, buddy, I'm not trying to. It was just complicated, but even unattainable. Not for ordinary people like myself.
Rishi smiled knowingly.
It's complicated because human beings like to overcomplicate.
In what ways do they overcomplicate?
Let me think of an analogy.
I love your analogies, buddy.
Rishi smiled.
Thank you, Travis. Have you ever eaten a mango?
Yes, and salads.
Mangoes were first grown in India several thousand years ago. People there are crazy about mangoes. Incredibly delicious with great health benefit. I love mangoes.
I can tell you're drooling.
Rishi licked his lips and laughed.
The point is, we can simply eat a ripe mango and enjoy it tremendously. Oh my God, those mangoes are good.
Travis smiled.
Okay.
But today, thousands of chefs use mangoes in their recipe. In India, they use them in chutneys, in Mexico, in salsas, in America, in salads. Chefs dissect every aspect of the mango. How sweet it needs to be, when to eat it ripe, how to use it raw in recipes, what size, what color, how to freeze it. Some will even sell you a mango-flavored drink with no benefits of an actual mango.
I know, disgusting. So your point is, a simple mango became distorted, commercialized, and therefore complicated.
Yes, we could have simply enjoyed the mango, but now we have studied, cooked, and consumed it in a million different ways. Those ways are valid because the mind craves variety.
So the same is done with spirituality. There are thousands of religious ways.
Yes, Travis. People have colored spirituality by their intellectual capacity, region, culture, faith, and the societal norms of the times in which they lived.
Rishi pressed his right and left fingertips against each other.
They have overwhelmed and obscured the essence of spirituality. There is so much beauty in the pursuit of spirituality. We can enjoy it without needing a million different rituals and interpretations.
Rishi paused and let his body relax.
Spirituality doesn't need fanfare. Spirituality is simple. Spirituality is natural.
Rishi felt harmonious. His words were coming out as if he was channeling the greatest wisdom in the universe. In awe of his own words, he had a satisfied look on his face. He was listening to his words, reaffirming to himself the wisdom of his own words. He was both the orator and the audience.
So it sounds like I need to ignore what everyone else is saying, right?
And what, have all confidence in me?
Travis feigned a frown and rolled his eyes.
I'm not doubting you. Just want to be sure and clear.
Rishi raised his palms halfway.
I know. Let me share 2 examples of simple solutions related to my own health.
Okay.
Travis was a tad bit intrigued.
I have found a way to kill my throat infections.
How?
Do you know ginger?
Yep, ginger root.
As soon as I develop a cold and an irritation in the throat or a cough, I immediately cut a small piece of ginger, peel it, and put it in my mouth. Ginger is extremely pungent, so even if you bite into it a little, it feels as if your mouth is burning.
Really?
Yeah, but that's what is good. Ginger is a natural antiviral, antibacterial agent. Because it's so pungent, I suspect the bugs die on contact as the ginger juice flows down your throat.
Does it work?
Like a charm. I take it 3 times a day and it kills the infection within 24 hours.
Oh, I'll have to try that next time.
Yes, you can take antibiotics or cough syrups, but they take their time and to me aren't as effective. But let me just make a disclaimer here. What worked for me may not work for you. Plus, be careful how much ginger you consume. It can do a number on your stomach if you consume too much.
Thanks for the disclaimer, Mr. Lawyer. Don't worry, I'll be careful.
Okay, good.
Rishi put the branches of grape in the empty bowl.
Let me share the other example.
Okay.
15 years ago, I used to suffer from severe heartburn. A doctor prescribed an acid-reducing drug, but it didn't help.
What did you do then?
I spoke with a doctor in India who gave me a simple solution. She said never to drink water or any fluid when I was hungry. When you're hungry, your body produces acid in anticipation. I suspect when you add any fluid at that time, it causes that acidic liquid to rise and enter your esophagus. That irritation in the esophagus causes heartburn.
Never a good idea to add water to an acid.
Travis was reciting an old chemistry lesson.
So you stopped drinking water.
No, not completely. I did stop drinking fluids before and during meals. I drink 30 minutes after I've eaten. Whenever I get hungry during non-meal times, I find something to eat, ideally a piece of fruit. Saliva is alkaline, so when you eat something, it helps neutralize the acid.
So this solved your acidity?
Well, it took 3 months. I had to change my lifestyle to eat my meals at regular times, add more fruits and raw vegetables to my diet, and I started drinking water with lemon in it. Once the esophagus lining had healed, I felt great. I've stayed with that lifestyle, and for 15 years, it has worked. It does flare up sometimes, but it's because I've become careless. I then focus back on the basics, and it goes back into control.
Wow, this is interesting. Heartburn's a multi-million-dollar industry.
Yes, Travis, it is. It is actually a multi-billion-dollar industry. And just a simple solution solved my problem. And I can ignore all the pharmaceutical drugs. I'm not a doctor to tell you if it will work for everyone, but it worked for me. Now, should I rely on an expensive drug that was not helping me just because billions were spent on developing it? Or should I listen to the seemingly simple solutions that worked for me?
Travis tapped his thumb.
Hey, buddy, it's obvious to me you should go with what works for you.
There you have it. We can focus on all the scriptures, numerous religious doctrines, and all the religious interpretations. Or we can go with the simple solution that works for us.
Travis opened his eyes wide and smiled.
No argument here. I loved your natural remedies. I'm going to try them. Thank you for sharing them, buddy.
Rishi closed his eyes.
Thank you, Travis. You really mean a lot to me. I mean, you do. Your listening to me, your encouragement means a lot to me. Gives me greater confidence.
Are you kidding me? This is helping me so much. Watching you in peace is making me peaceful. which is exactly what I was hoping for. So thank you.
Rishi smiled lightly. Both men were lucky to have each other. They both were progressing at the conscious and the subconscious levels. Talking with someone who listens without judgment is such a gift. And finding someone who is a genuine guide and guru is truly a blessed event. Rishi turned sober.
Travis, I'll admit to you, sometimes I doubt myself and wonder if I could be dead wrong about my spiritual path and pursuit.
Travis shook his head dismissively.
Oh, come on, Rishi.
No, I'm serious, Travis. It is a serious burden. What gives me confidence is when I see this stuff work, when I experience peace. And I'm a terrible person.
You're not a terrible person. Why would you say that?
Rishi shook his head and looked away.
My point is, if I can experience moments of bliss, then anyone can. I just want to share that.
And bless you for that.
Rishi bowed.
So many religious leaders pass verdict on people and tell us spirituality is out of our reach. I want to change that misguided and frankly harmful thinking. I want to discuss that point next. What I'm going to share goes against conventional thinking. And I realize that message is going to be shocking for many.
Well, don't worry about that. You're among friends.
Shocking it may be, but it helps us move forward in our spiritual journey, Travis. It does.
End of Chapter 8. Spirituality is natural. Takeaways from this chapter. Spirituality is inborn in us, and it is completely natural. We are wired from birth to make spiritual progress. Spirituality is as intrinsic to us as our breath. Spirituality is as natural as a seed growing up to be a plant.